Before we jump into the video, head on over to Guardian Gaming TCGs to get yourself some of the cheapest PTCGO codes on the market. Don't forget to use code STUBIN for 15% off already discounted prices. And most importantly, enjoy the video. Hello and welcome back. Stube here, and it's time to talk about Darkrai. Once again, I know this is something that a lot of you have been waiting for. Thank you for all of the crazy support on that last Darkrai deck profile. The video's close to 1,000 views if it already hasn't broken it. Absolutely insane. I can't thank you guys enough. Don't forget to also hit this one with a like, a comment, and if you haven't already, please subscribe for more Pokemon content. Alright, so Darkrai. I played this at NAIC and Milwaukee. I played it at NAIC because I played it at Milwaukee, and I didn't have enough time really to do too much between the events. I came home, had to work a few days, didn't really get a lot of playtesting in, no locals or anything like that in between. So we just decided to stick it out and rock it out. I did make some changes, so I will throw up an image here of the list that I played at Milwaukee. I did end up changing 2 cards, which we'll get to, but now let's look at the current list. So we're rocking a 3-3 VSTAR line, nothing crazy. As you can see from the image before, I was playing 4, we cut 1 for some tech spot. It really didn't make a difference whatsoever. I'm going to keep working on this deck and keep changing things, so we'll just keep plugging it along. Of course, if you already don't know what Darkrai VSTAR does, 270 HP. Dark Pulse 30 times the amount of dark energy attached to all of your Pokemon, and the broken VSTAR Power Starbase. Get 2 items from your discard pile and put them back in your hand, so you can reuse and abuse your one-offs and all that stuff, so on and so forth. Or you can just, Dark Patch 6 times in a game if you're able to. Alright, continuing on. I'm rocking 2 copies of Galarian Moltres V, same as before. No change there. As well as 1 of the little Galarian Moltres. And in the future, I do plan on changing this to 1 V and 2 little Moltres. One of the reasons I did so terrible at NAIC is because of all the Miltank. And I hit a Decidueye Miltank deck. And I don't mean like Hisuian Decidueye. I mean like the Grass Decidueye in round 2. And between, 4 Miltanks and 3 Decidueyes, my 1 Moltres can't carry that game. So that was a hard L. But we'll talk about all that later on. Continuing on with the Pokemon, we're rocking 2 copies of Crobat, same as before, and 1 Radiant Greninja. Draw 6, discard energy, draw 2. Pretty straightforward. They help you turbo your deck faster and go through. Nothing too crazy, but that's it for the Pokemon, really. Alright, let's continue on to the supporters. I'm rocking 4 copies of Research, and yes, I know they all mismatch. One of these will be a Willow when I get my hands on one. So play 1 Willow, 1 Magnolia, 1 Oak, and 1 Juniper. Maybe someday I'll be able to play multiple different bosses, but until then, we're just playing 2 copies of the boss's orders here. Pretty standard, pretty straightforward. At one point in time, this was 3, and then we cut it for a Palpad, and the Palpad ended up being nuts. And of course, the other supporters that survived, Raihan and Avery. Avery did nothing for me at NAIC, but honestly was really good at Milwaukee with all the Reggie and everything going around. Raihan's also a really good comeback card late game, and they're both good one-offs. And of course, we do play that Palpad, so you'll be able to reuse and abuse. So onto the items, we're rocking 4 Quick Ball, 4 Ultra Ball, 4 Trekking Shoes, and 4 Dark Patch. Nothing out of the ordinary here. Pretty straightforward. Those are all the 4-offs. You need your balls to get your Pokemon and get your energy in the discard pile, other than using Greninja or your Research. Trekking Shoes also just helps you get to the pieces that you want to have faster and get energy in the discard pile. And Dark Patch reapplies those energy from the discard pile back in onto your bench Pokemon. Pretty straightforward. Alright, 2 Choice Belt. Felt fine. Could consider maybe going down to 1 just for more tech space or like another sort of like up in something else, just because you can always just get it back if you really, really need to. More one-ofs. This is where we started to change things. 1 switch, 1 air balloon, and 1 rope. At Indy, I played 2, I'm sorry, not Indy. Milwaukee, I played 2 switch and 1 balloon. One of the switches became a rope. I noticed that in a lot of my games at Milwaukee, that I was able to be very aggressive early on with Galarian Moltres V, and so rope would just help me in that situation. I think these are fine. These changes weren't bad. I would definitely keep it that way. Continuing on, still 1 scoop up net, still 1 experience share, and still 1 pal pad from the Milwaukee list. These feel fine. Experience share is really nice on anything to just keep an energy in play, and it honestly, this energy experience share makes me want to get Crobat VMAX in here, because if you just let this thing just just take energy up every turn, eventually after 2 turns, you're able to potentially patch or attach onto it, and then we could theoretically swing in with a Crobat VMAX, and it becomes a much bigger tank. I am considering trying to find a Crobat VMAX into this list for sure. The last thing that's different from the photo from the Milwaukee list is this tool scrapper. The 4th Darkrai V was cut to fit the scrapper. So basically, the only change between the Milwaukee photo that I showed you at the beginning and this deck now is the scrapper and the rope. The rope became from the switch, and the 4th Darkrai turned into the tool scrapper. Tool scrapper honestly felt really good instead of, say, jammer. Only because I want to be able to, increase my damage output or be able to pivot with balloon or whatever. So jammer just didn't feel like it fit in this list whatsoever. But scrapper let me get rid of a big charm, which basically in this situation, like in multiple situations in Milwaukee, anything with a big charm basically meant that I needed 1 more energy to get there. And this just means I need 1 less energy to get there against big charm. Other tool cards, you could need, belts and balloons, whatever. But for the most part, this is just honestly to deal with big charm. All right, 2 stadiums, 1 collapsed, 1 training court. I would love to fit another stadium in here. I don't know where. I don't know which one, but both of these are really good. I could even consider ultimately playing just 2 collapsed stadium, but training court just felt really good to be able to grab energy back to make it easier to use Moltres. And if I end up changing it to where I'm only playing 2 of this instead of 2 of the V, that second training court will make a lot more sense for Malevolent Charge. And it also just helps out with concealed cards. And then we're rocking 13 Dark Energy. Pretty straightforward. And hey, they match this time. You're welcome, comment section. But this is the list that I played at Milwaukee/NAIC. This is the NAIC list specifically. I'll flash the Milwaukee photo up one more time. But yeah, this is the deck that I rocked. I went 5-3 and 1 at Milwaukee, losing the Winnanen to day 2 with that list. And at NAIC, I went 0-3 drop. Round 1 at NAIC, I played a Mew player, and we went to game 3, and I was short in energy to get there. Unfortunately, would have had it if not, but whatever. Round 2, I hit Decidueye Miltank, and again, I have 1 out. I can't get through multiple copies of either of those. Most decks that I speculated that I would see would play 1, maybe 2 Miltank, and then I would have other ways to get around the second one by, in terms of boss or Palpad or whatever else. Potentially scoop up the Moltres and reapply it and pivot again, but it didn't happen. I can't deal with 7 theoretical V walls. And then round 3, I hit a Blissey player. They won game 1, I won game 2, and then game 3, I got a little greedy trying to get boss, and I ended up decking myself. Pretty rough. And at that point, I was just ready to have fun, explore the city, get some food, hang out with Emily, and do whatever else, and meet people, and so on and so forth. I know I didn't have a shot towards a Worlds invite this season without cups and challenges, so it's whatever. I'm just trying to get better at the game and play more. I know I've played a while, we've made content for a while. If it wasn't for the pandemic, 2020 would have been my first full season. We would have chased cups and challenges and went to more regionals. And at the time, in between things of the pandemic, I wasn't well off enough to travel the way we have in the last few months with Indy and Milwaukee and Columbus. So very very thankful that I have this awesome job that lets me just take whatever time off I need to go play Pokemon and work on content and everything else like that. So honestly, a good thing that I have the opportunity to do so. But without more rambling and whatnot, again, this is the Darkrai list. I'm gonna make some changes. I'm not giving up on it yet. I think this is like my pet deck. We'll see what happens with as new cards come out. Pokemon Go's coming out this week. We might see some lure module, egg incense, incubator, Pokestop shenanigans shoved into this deck. We'll see from there. But that's it. Much love. Thanks for checking out the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know down below what kind of changes you would make, what kind of suggestions you have. If you like the list from before, maybe you like this one a little bit more. But that'll do it for me. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.